right, so this is RunSignup 101, a RunSignup onboarding guide. We're going to go through the race wizard and just help you guys get started on setting up races. And don't be afraid to ask us some questions. So after you set up your first race on RunSignup, you'll be getting a phone call from one of our onboarding team members. I'm Val Lofton, our lead onboarding manager. We also have Katie Atherton Blair, who's with us today, Madison, and Whitney. So if you get a call from one of us, we're there to help. Today's agenda, we're going to go through a race setup, payment account setup, navigating the dashboard, and then race website information, and a little bit on email V2 as well. So our dashboard tips and tricks that we like to cover at the beginning of our 101 series is basically how to access your dashboard. This is one of our most commonly asked questions with new race directors. And you can access your dashboard in two different ways. You can go to runsignup.com, click on the little profile image or person icon, and then go to My Races, and you can go to your dashboard, or you can just click right on the name of your race, and that'll take you there. And then you can also access your dashboard by going to your profile and then go to the My Races down at the bottom. So some tips and tricks that we have for this is that most of you guys will always see the Show More option with a limited menu, and you always have to click Show More to get all of it. You can actually expand that so that way when you log in, you will always see the entire menu, which is very nice. So you can do that by clicking on, when you're in your dashboard, you'll click on the profile picture or the person icon, and then go to dashboard settings, and then just simply click to always expand. And then you'll always see all of the dashboard menu items there on the left-hand side. We do have a really great menu search that is overlooked. You can quickly find menu items by using this. It's over on the left-hand side in that gray menu area called menu search, and you can just start typing in what it is that you're looking to do. In this example, I started typing in QR, and the QR codes and links comes up automatically for me. And I chose this actually because a lot of people don't know that we actually already have QR codes made for your race. So now you do. All right, so our race setup, we're going to go through the 7 steps of the wizard just so that you get an idea of how you should set up your race properly with our tips and tricks and best practices for each of those steps within the race wizard. In order to create a race, you can go to runsignup.com and then just click the pink Create a Race button at the top, and that'll take you right in there into the race wizard. And then you can also create a race from your race dashboard where you see all of your races, and up at the top, it's going to have a blue button that says Create a Race. So either of those options to hop right into that wizard will work for you. So step 1 of the race wizard is just the basics of the race. You're looking at the race name in that first step, and you, as just a best practice, is that you want to keep that race name short and memorable. You don't want it to be too long. You don't need to put in presented by. There's other areas where you can add in those sponsors and show the appreciation for the title sponsor and all of your other sponsors as well. The race description should be a very quick overview. You don't need to add in all of your details such as packet pickup or where to park. You don't want paragraphs, multiple paragraphs within the race description area. It should just be a very quick, brief description of what your race is going to be like. You know, short or a flat, fast course, really fun 5K, color run, something like that. You will also need to put in the physical location of the actual race itself. So if you have a virtual race, the location is still required, but you can manipulate address line 1 as well as the city, and you can make it a little bit more virtual friendly by adding in words such as like anywhere or everywhere. The zip code is required though. And then you'll also want to make sure that your time zone is correct because that's how it will display on the calendar. It'll be, 9 a.m. Eastern time or Pacific time. On your first race, you're going to choose your race URL. It is best practice to never use a year or other identifiers like 5th annual or 2025. You want to make sure that this URL will be able to be used year after year as you renew, and it doesn't need to be updated. The URL is the RunSignup /race / the city, or the state, and then the city, and then the actual URL. But you can build out shorter URLs later for simple sharing and sending them out for advertising purposes. You can also bring over a custom domain. So if you own the best5krace.com, you can bring that over and set it up so it points directly to the RunSignup page. In step 1 of the wizard is where you're going to set up your events. You should have a different event for each distance that is being offered at your race. So if you're offering a 5K as well as a 10K, you're going to set up 2 separate events in this area. So you want the event name to be the distance that they're going to be completing. The most common mistake is that people will just repeat the name of the race, which doesn't indicate how far the participants will be going. And then it also doesn't display as nicely on the tile when you have the race name followed by the distance. So just make it simple: 5K run, 5K run walk, 5K walk only, something like that, just so they know exactly what it is that they can expect when they get there. And you want to make sure that you use the orange add another event button if you have multiple distances offered at your race. So for our hybrid events, you're going to want to make sure that you choose run walk or walk only, run only for your in-person option. But then for your virtual option, you want to make sure that you choose virtual race / challenge. And this will allow people to be able to actually submit their virtual results for it. And there's a separate result set for those virtual participants. One of the most common mistakes for the event type is people that choose nonprofit event. If you're hosting a 5K, you're going to want to make sure that you choose run or walk, because that is also tied to our calendar. So when people pull up runs within your area, it'll come up. If they come up with a nonprofit event, then it's not going to display properly for you guys. You get less advertising that way. And then also on step 1, you're going to choose how those processing fees are going to be handled. Most races choose to pass the processing fee on to the registrant, so they're completely used to it. Don't feel bad about it. But you do have that option to have that processing fee come out of the charge, or you can split it 50-50 between the race and the participant. And you can always change this later. You can, sit on it for a little bit and just decide how you would really like those to happen. And then one cool thing is that you can also have the processing fees covered differently for donations and store items. So the most common way that we see this set up specifically for nonprofits is that the race registration fee will be covered by the registrant, but any donations, the processing fee will come out of the charge, and you can even add a custom prompt to see if they would like to cover that processing fee. We do offer flexible gender options, so you can add to support non-binary selections, and you can allow participants for them to prefer not to say. You do want to make sure that you talk with your timer and know what gender categories you are planning to offer, and make sure that they can accommodate that with their timing software. You will also choose your timer on step 1 if you are working with one. You can search by the company name, the email that you have, or the contact name. If they are already a timer listed in RunSignup, it'll give them immediate access to be able to pull the data needed in order for them to time the race. They don't have just full access to your entire dashboard, but they can pull the data necessary. And then you can always come back and add that timer if you don't have one yet. If you need help finding a timer, you can find one at runsignup.com/timer search, and you can look for timers that work within your area. So we have a lot of small races that choose to not want to use a timer. They want to keep it as a fun run. And so there are some reasons why you should use a timer. Of course, they're able to provide you with accurate and reliable results, which is always a hit with a lot of participants. all the way from, your very fast runners to just your walkers. One reason people want results is because they can usually get some kind of money back from their insurance, but they need printed results in order to be able to do that. So if you don't have those results, then some people may not choose to do the race because of that one little option to get some money back from their insurance. They can help with data management and reporting. So pulling how many t-shirts you need, looking at your check-in stats, seeing how you guys are doing from year to year. They have a lot of knowledge about the platform and how it works and can help you dive deeper into a lot of the different tools that we offer. Of course, most timers have a great integration with RunSignup. They're able to keep that participant data clean for you, and there's no duplications, things like that. And it eliminates the need for manual entry on race day, because you can use RunSignup as well as their race day scoring or the race director, whatever timing they're using, and it integrates flawlessly. So you can just keep everything on RunSignup and get rid of paper registrations altogether. And then, of course, the finish line setup, which is always exciting for participants and really gives them that feel of that actual race with inflatables, clocks, things like that, or any type of finish line structures. Moving on to step 2, this is basic information about your events that you guys are offering. The distance is how it will be listed on RunSignup. So when people are looking for 5Ks within 25 miles of their zip code, it would come up if you put it in as a 5K. If you leave it blank, then we don't know how far the race is, of course. And then you want to make sure that you do have a different event for each of the distances that are offered. So make sure you do that. The additional event information, that's if there's anything specific about that event, like it's a trail race, something like that. I wouldn't add a whole lot of information in this area, especially regarding like packet pickup or anything like that. It's only shown on the event info tab. And it's not very visible, to be honest. So you want to probably keep that limited. Step 3 in the race wizard is going to be your registration periods, and that's where you're going to choose how much you're actually charging for the race. You want to make sure, or it's suggested that you have 3 different registration periods or tiered registration periods. So that way you can have like an early bird pricing, where you can, get the word out about your race, but create some urgency to get registered for the race at this discounted price. Then you'll have your regular pricing period, which is going to be your longest pricing period. And then a lot of times people will increase that price one last time for the week leading up to the event as kind of like a, hey, you should have registered earlier. And you can add those different registration periods by using the orange, add another registration period. You can have gaps in your registration periods, but you cannot have anything that overlaps. So just keep that in mind. You probably just want it to go bump up to each other exactly. On this field, in this step 3, you can also edit the fully customizable waiver down at the bottom. Oh, which is here, sorry. So the different waiver options that you have is a checkbox. You can have them put in their name, their initials, the name and date of birth, initials and date of birth. It just is completely up to you and your organization and what you guys are going to require for that waiver. We do recommend that you update that waiver, make sure that you have your organization name, the municipalities that you're working with, and any other additional information to make sure that you guys are covered for liability purposes. You can also add up to 3 additional waivers if you have them, like the USA Track and Field requires one. You can do that under from the dashboard from race, registration, dates, pricing, and options. Step 4 of the Race Wizard is going to be your giveaways. This is going to be something that's given away with the registration cost. If you have items to sell, this is not going to be the place that you want to add those in there. So if they don't get a t-shirt with here, but you want to sell them, don't enable the giveaways. So you'll want to make sure that you say yes if they are going to be getting some kind of giveaway. It does default to a t-shirt, but you can of course change that description, and you can change the items available by using the trash can buttons or move them up and down. So you want to make sure that you put in all the sizes that you're going to be offering, and you can even edit multiple events at one time at the top. On step 5, this is a little bit of where you can do some branding. You can do this by choosing your race logo, your banner image, and just some other items that you're able to do in this area here. The banner image needs, if you wanted to do a custom banner image, that's going to be a 24 by 800, or you can select from our available banners. And then you can customize the word event if needed, like for wave or something like that. In step 6 of the Race Wizard is where you're actually going to set up that payment account. You're going to have the option to use an existing payment account, set up a new payment account, or you can send instructions over by email, set it up later. And then if you want to test your registration because you're not sure if you're going to move forward, or if you just want to make sure things are running smoothly, you can move it into test mode. If you are offering a free event, you can just pop it into volunteer and free event mode, and you can open up registration when you're ready. So as far as our payment account setup, we do have, when you go through there, you're going to choose what kind of legal entity you are, whether that be a business, a nonprofit, an individual, things like that. And then you're going to fill in the information that goes through there. Some of the most common issues that we run into is when the initial onboarding is not complete with our new Adyen V2. And this is just because simply you did not submit the application either by correcting the items and then submitting it, or just submitting it with errors. So you're going to want to make sure that you go back through that initial onboarding section, go through each step of that, and then you are going to probably just want to submit it with errors. And the errors can be simply as small as like the phone number doesn't match what's on file. I had a school one time that had 2 different addresses, and they used the one that wasn't matching up with the EIN, but it went through just fine. So just submit it with errors and move along and make sure that it gets rolling. We also do have some verification process where Adyen verifies the account with an actual person, and they do this during business hours. So if you set it up at like 5 o'clock at night, it may not get reviewed until the next day. And this particular error is because a document needs to be uploaded in order to verify your banking details. The accepted documents would be a voided check, a bank statement, a letter from the bank, or a screenshot of the online banking environment. And you can find the list of accepted documents that I just listed there when you expand the more information section. So this particular error is when the organizational details couldn't be verified. In this particular instance, you will also need to upload an IRS document showing the IRS logo, the legal entity name, and the EIN for approval. And this is typically because the EIN number and the legal entity name that was entered on the application do not match what is registered with the state. So we do get a lot of people that upload images incorrectly, or they're not sure what exactly to include with the upload. So we're going to cover each of the accepted documents and what they should look like. So the bank statement is the preferred method. You really only want to upload the first page only. It needs to be dated within the last 2 months. It does need to have the full account name, and the full account name needs to match the legal entity. If it does not, there is a section on the application that says that you have a DBA or the name on the bank account does not match. So just put that in there exactly what it is on your bank account. It has to have the bank account number. I know a lot of times it's just showing the last 4, and that is acceptable. And it does need to have the bank name and logo as well. A voided check, which I find to be the easiest form of verification, it needs to be blank with the exception of the void notation. It needs to have the full account name. Again, it has to match that legal entity or use that DBA section, and it has to have the full account number, the routing number, and it cannot be a starter check. So if you do have a new account and you have starter checks, one of your only options is actually going to be a letter from the bank. So again, this is for new accounts that you don't have a statement a statement yet or a check. It does need to have the full account name, the account number, the routing number. It needs to be on official bank letterhead dated within the last month, and it needs to have the employee name and signature, so it needs to be like an actual letter. The last one, and probably the least reliable option, is a screenshot of your online banking environment. And I see this get approved very rarely, mainly because people are using their mobiles for it, and it does not display all of the information that is required. It does need to have the bank name, the bank logo, the full account name, the account number, routing number, and the date. So I have yet to see a mobile app that will actually display all of that information. I have seen it on a desktop view, so that may be your best bet if that's the only option that you have. So the common mistakes that lead to rejected payment accounts: ripped or stained images, selfies, blurry documents, old documents, documents with writing or redactions. So you cannot redact or cross off your account balance or any information on there. It needs to be the original. Used checks, and then incorrect documents such as deposit slips, banking agreements, things like that. And then, of course, if the data is not matching, such as you put in the wrong routing number or the wrong account number, then it would get kicked back as well. So you want to make sure that your image is clear, you are not in it, and then make sure that it is one of the accepted documents. The majority of the accounts will say that it is pending completion by RunSignup, and this is usually just a quick manual review by our risk team. On occasion, our risk team does require a little bit more information from you to verify and make sure that everything is the way that it should be. They may reach out for items such as a full Social Security number if needed, a copy of your driver's license, copy of the IRS letter, things like that, to get that payment account approved. And then when it is approved, you will receive an automated email. And then in certain instances, if you've struggled getting that payment account, you'll get a phone call from the onboarding or the onboarding team member that you've been working with. Once it's approved, you will hop into step 7 of the Race Wizard. And these are recommended settings that are going to be enabled for you unless you specifically uncheck them. So it will automatically offer event insurance, referral rewards, incomplete email, and then your price increase email. And you will just simply uncheck them if you don't want them activated. Once you hit save and finish, you can't unselect these items from this page. You would need to go in from the Race Wizard and deselect them in different ways. So if you don't want them, make sure that you do it here. As far as event insurance go, there's not really a reason to not offer it. It does strengthen your no refund policy. You do get a small stipend for every policy that is purchased. So you're making money just by offering it. Our referral rewards is a great marketing tactic, and you're able to do a lot with that, specifically with our email marketing. And then, of course, you want to let those people or invite those people, the incomplete emails. Those will automatically go out to anybody that abandons their registration at any point. It'll invite them to come back and complete it for your race. And then, of course, the price increase emails, letting everybody know that they need to get in and register before the price goes up. So we're going to hop into the race dashboard and show you just a little bit of different things that you can do within the race dashboard. Again, we do have menu searches. You want to make sure that you utilize those as much as possible. You can search for the participants in the upper right-hand corner of the page. So if you need to find somebody quickly because they have an issue and you need to fix it, or you just need to verify if someone's registered, you can do that using their name, their bib number, email, etc. First name, last name, it doesn't matter. If you start typing it in, it'll pull up everybody. And you can also search all of your past years as well. So it's not just limited to current registrants. You can search past ones. And then, of course, the race dashboard menu, because it is a very large menu. So some of the dashboard data expansions, you can see your total signups, total registration by year, your year-to-year comparisons, your last 30 days, and the days remaining. This just gives you a quick little overview of how you're doing and comparing from year to year at that particular point in time. If you want, very specific data, make sure that you always rely on the participant report and not this particular report. So standard questions, you can add custom registration questions by going to race, registration, and then questions. You can enable things like emergency contact name, emergency contact phone number. You can also allow people to sign up for emergency text messages from the race as well. And then you can also add any additional questions that you may have, like how did you hear about this race? Are you staying the night? Things like that, if you need different data for different reasons. And we do have a way that you can question logic, where you can ask additional questions based on their answer from the previous one. The participant report is the most common report that everybody is looking at, because that is your list of participants. You're able to make sure that people have signed the waiver. You can see if they've used coupon codes, if they, get any type of refunds, if they transfer, just any data pertaining to the participant you can view within this report. You can change what you're viewing by under the report options and then customize view, and you can choose from all the different columns that we have there. If you want to see how much they donated or what team they're on, those are all options, or the custom question answers that you've put in there. I just covered that. I forgot there was a slide on it, sorry. So the participant report, again, customizing that view, picking from all columns, and then you're able to add in anything, and then you can export those if you needed to send that data over to your timer or to anybody else that may need it for reconciliation. A lot of small races will forget to enable donations. This is done in the Race Wizard now, actually on step 1, and you can also go further into the donations, and you can customize it a little bit further by requiring certain information. You can add additional donation levels or change them. You can add more information about your charity and change the logo. The logo that would be displayed is the one that you uploaded for your race. So it's recommended that you have a specific logo for that donation page. And then of course, adding in a description and additional information of where those funds are going to be going. We do have a great donation add-on at checkout. So you're able to add up to 3 donation levels. We recommend that they are small donations for this option, like maybe $3, $5, and $10. And then this option will not show if the registrant does actually make a donation during that registration path. And it does significantly boost your totals in donations because people will get to this page and say, sure, I can add on $5 or $3. So it's a great way just to get more donations and, get more people to buy into the organization that you're working with. You can enable this under donations, setup, and then the checkout add-on. Coupons is our most common way that people are going to discount their race. They do this for different organizations that are bringing a large group, or their sponsors, or if they just want to, offer a coupon code to try to get more registrations. You'll do this under financial, pricing, and then coupons. And you're going to just simply name your code, and that's going to make it something easy that they're going to be able to input at the end, nothing too long or complicated. It is not case sensitive, so keep that in mind. It doesn't really matter. And then you're going to determine the discounts. You can do a dollar amount, or you can do a percentage, or you can do a combination of the both if you wanted to. The discount type that you want to do, whether that's going to be an overall discount, per registrants, per event that they sign up for, things like that. There's different ways that you can allow that coupon to be used. And then the eligibility dates, we absolutely recommend that you do put in an expire date so people can't continue to use old coupon codes from the previous years. And then you'll need to define what can be discounted. You'll want to make sure that you include race registration fees. And then there's a lot of different options on there of what can be included or excluded from that coupon code. And there's also restrictions as far as how many people can use that coupon code, and then how many registrations can be used with that coupon code. So additional discounted features that we're not going to necessarily get into today, but you're going to find all of these under the financial pricing options. And we do have age-based pricing, multi-person sign-up pricing, which is most common for family pricing. We do have memberships, which is really like a custom discount that you can do. Most commonly, this is going to be used for a military or first responder discounts. And then we also have club membership discounts that integrate with our club platform. So if it recognizes their club membership, it'll automatically give them that discount. And then multi-event discounts. So if you are offering multiple events at different times, like a 5K and then a 10K, you can allow them to register for multiple events and get a discount as well. It's best practice to only use one or two of your discounting options. You certainly don't want to use them all. And you don't want to make it too complicated, or you're going to be, not making very much money. All right, your race website. In this one, we are going to stay focused on our legacy websites. And that's the website that's automatically created when you get through that race wizard. And your race page is a great way to showcase your brand. You can add unlimited content with custom content pages or sections. You can make it look organized and break up your information into more digestible pieces instead of having it all under that race description. It definitely looks more professional, and then it includes key information automatically by pulling from the race wizard and all that information that you've entered in there. So under the race theme section, which is found under race website, race theme, and then race template, you have the option of choosing between your vertical or horizontal navigations, and that's just a personal preference of how you like it to lay out. And then you have a lot of different design and layout elements, such as hiding the overlay over your banner image, hiding the name of the race over the banner image. You can change that header color. You can add a countdown clock or a custom tagline. There's just a lot of different options in this section here. And then you can also add in your social media feeds if you want to. In the race theme section, you can also upload that logo if you didn't have it ready for when you went through that race wizard, or if you want to change it, you can do that in this section as well. And then you can also upload that banner image or change it to one of our custom default banners that we have in there. And again, that banner image needs to be 24 by 800, not the 2000 that's listed there. In the race theme, you can also update your color scheme and make that on branding on point with your logo as well as your banner image. You can choose from any of our custom default color schemes that we have, or you can build out your own custom one if you would like to. It's recommended that races do add an FAQ tab. You're able to do this by adding what we call a custom section, and you can find that under race website, and then custom sections. And then you can choose how that custom section displays, either right there on the race info page. You can have it display as a new menu item or as a sub menu item, or you can have it displayed directly into the registration confirmation email. But it is recommended that you do have the FAQ page with different items such as, like, can I transfer my bib number? Are refunds allowed? Where do I go for parking? Things like that. So we do offer our website V2 as well, and some of those highlights is it's more customizable than our legacy. There's a lot more style options, such as your headers, there's layouts, there's new design options. You can structure that website a little bit easier than you could with our legacy. You can add unlimited pages. The menu is very easy to work with. You can add different links and just a lot more. You can add drop-down menus, things like that. And then you also have the image gallery, where you can upload images and share that across with your email V2 as well as with other races. We do have an upcoming webinar for 101 website V2 on October 16th. So if you want more information on how that works, visit or sign up for that webinar there. And our email V2 is a drag and drop template builder. It's got a mobile response templates as well. So it's going to display nice both on the desktop as well as the mobile. You can have unlimited contacts. You can also have custom contact lists for donors, fundraisers. If you're coming over from another platform, you can upload all of those contacts as well. You can have that image gallery where you're sharing it across multiple races as well as with your website V2. We have dynamic replacement tags that will automatically fill in information such as race name, the race date, all different kinds of things, their donation amount. And then we also have automated emails. As I mentioned before, you have 2 of them that will automatically be enabled, which is that incomplete registration as well as price increase. But we do offer a registration follow-up, which is a really great way to create a drip campaign for any fundraising or to make your participants aware of the referral rewards that you may be offering at your race. We do have an upcoming email V2 for 101 as well, and that's going to be on September 17th. So that is all I have today, and I think we might have some questions.
So we were able to get to most all of the questions today. A good one that came up was about renewal. If I'm having the same event every year, do I need to renew my race instead of creating a new race?
So we would absolutely recommend that you renew that race instead of copying or creating a new one, because you're able to, one, the URL is going to carry over from year to year, so it's going to make it easier for your participants to find it. Your QR codes are going to remain the same. It strengthens your Google ranking as well, but you're also able to have access to your past participant email lists for easy marketing, and then you can also compare how you're doing from year to year. And really, target your marketing funds a little bit better, knowing where you need to spend them based on year-to-year statistics.
When selecting when the registration close date, is it best to have it go until the race start time so that you can accept last-minute registrations?
Yes, there's really not a reason. Well, first, actually, make sure you check with your timer. Most timers have really caught up with the technology, and they're able to do those imports just last minute. So just make sure that you are checking with your timer to make sure that they're able to accommodate that. But yes, it would be best practice to keep registration all the way open until the race start time, because it's just a simple push of a button to bring in those last minute participants for most timers.
Okay, I think that's it. And anybody that we did not get to, we will email you.
All right, thanks everyone.
Now Joel here, one of our developers, has something he wants to say.
Like and subscribe. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Hello, Internet. I'm here.
I should just have you record that for all the videos.